What's up, my duckies? Yeah, that was a tough intro, right? That was a great thing you wanted to hear at the beginning of this video. You feel me? Before we start, make sure to subscribe. You are not allowed to continue watching this video unless you subscribe. Yes, you are. But like, I'd still appreciate if you subscribe. All right. Now, let's go straight in. This is the Infinite Leaderboard Guide. As you can see, what the hell is that title, right? Season 7 Infinite Champion. I was top 12 in the leaderboard on multiple maps last season. Right now, I am 4th on Edge of Heaven. I am somewhere high in Marshall, somewhere high in these maps, right? I'm not gonna scroll all of them because you know I'm tough as hell. That's all you need, right? I'm gonna be telling you what you need. The first thing you're gonna need is 4 players. You're gonna be like, damn, bro, I don't have any friends that are good at this game. Well, I know how you can get those other people, and it's this Discord server called Illusion, where all the best players are, some testers, some devs. Like, this is the competitive AV server. I'm going to leave the link in the description below, so go ahead and join. What you're going to do when you join is you're going to go to this channel right here, tickets after you've verified. You're going to open a ticket. You're going to be like, yo, these are my units, right? You're not going to say that. You're just going to show your units and your username. But then you're going to be rolled either human, C-Rank Hunter, B-Rank Hunter, above, right? It's based off of solo leveling. If you are a rank hunter, 6 monarchs or more, you will have access to the high comp channel, which is this right here. It's just 4 things. Leaderboard hosting, which is what you really want it for, but like, I'm not gonna lie, no one really uses this channel as much as the other one. So you would want to go ahead, and even if you don't have 6 monarchs, you have all the units I said and whatever, right? You're gonna join this channel. You're gonna put what you have, looking for a team, what map you want to do. You could even create your own team and ask people to join you. This is where the comp is, so go ahead and join. Now, for the units that you want, let me go ahead and show you, my boy. Alright, so here you can see I've placed every single viable infinite unit. I've separated them into categories. The first category will be DPS. These are going to be the units that are killing everything, your main damage, whatever, right? First unit is Broly. Broly is very, very, very good, okay? He has a domain. Sadly, you can't use other domains within this domain, making crowd control very difficult, but it allows you to go a bit higher without needing them. So, Broly, he has insane DPS. It's about 420 something thousand. With the domain, it goes all the way up to like 800k, so he's wiping everything, right? Amazing range, full AoE. Let me go ahead and give myself a ton of yen, right? He has, first of all, a big cone, which you can place in ways to where he's hitting a lot, right? If I place him here, he would be hitting from spawn all the way to here, plus full AoE. So I wouldn't actually want to place him here. I would want to place him more here, so he's hitting all this, plus full AoE everywhere, right? Very, very good. Probably your best DPS option. Then, there comes Sukuna. Sukuna has higher DPS than Broly, plus a nuke, and is very, very good. But, Sukuna, what he does, right, is he attacks, he cleaves, then he does a follow-up. So without that follow-up, that full AoE follow-up, he's not a great DPS, so only one person should and has to bring Sukuna. Then, Yehowatch. Yehowatch is most likely not going to be viable. But, Yehowatch has insane range, insane damage, plus double whatever his damage is going to be, right? You can get that up to 400k, which is 800k, insane range, but 8 SPA. The reason you wouldn't want to bring him is because you need to make a big team around him to get him high to that SPA, but there is ways, and there is ways he might be viable, so I couldn't leave him out, but he's not usually what I would run or what most people run. Now, next is Tengen with his familiar. Tengen with his familiar, he will get up to about like this much full AoE. Like, he'll have pretty big full AoE, insane DPS, like insane DPS, like only a little bit worse than Broly, but he's always full AoE, he just has less range. So it's really a trade-off which one you want to use, but the thing is, he does use Scorched, which I'm going to talk about later. So definitely want to bring Tengen. He also buffs Sid Nuke by 30%, so that's something to consider. Next, Hiei. Hiei is kind of the same thing as Tengen, right? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I've never seen where this guy's from, but he basically has pretty good damage, and then he removes burn and adds his own burn, which does 80% damage. So he's going to have a high amount of damage plus 80% more damage. He's very, very, very good DPS, slightly behind Broly and Tengen and Sukuna, right? But Infinite has a lot of complications with lag, and burn units slightly lag. But that doesn't mean you don't bring him. He is used in strats. He is very good. Now, Mark, Conqueror versus Invulnerable. You're going to think, why the hell is this guy using this unit, right? Whoa, that's a lot of range, right? It didn't remove a stock. But He's going to gain 40% more range from where he is, right? He's going to be hitting a lot. And the way this guy works is every time he attacks, he also does a full AoE attack if he's missing, what, 2 or 1 stocks? Yeah, if he's missing a stock, you do a full AoE attack after every attack. Very, very, very good. Very good DPS, but it's very situational because his actual DPS output is less than that of basically all these units here, but he has a lot more range, so there's situations where you would want to use him. Next, we're going to crowd control. Here you can see there's a lot of units, and not all of these units will be brought, but these are all the units that are very used. Number 1, Diavolo. His rewind is absolutely insane. He literally will rewind from here to about here, which is very good, especially for bosses. So Diavolo is definitely a must-have. Second is Aizen. Aizen has a wall that stops them for about 12 seconds, I believe. And maybe even more. I don't even know. I don't remember. But it's very, very good. And he has good damage, full AoE. But when they're stopped, like if he stops a boss right here, right, he's going to do a pretty good amount of damage to that, especially if Broly's domain is active. But regardless of that, right, he stops them. Plus, he stops all enemies. Plus, whenever an enemy walks into the base, right, boom, rewind for 5 seconds. Which may not seem like a big deal, but when I'm talking about Sid's nuke later, right, it could be a big deal sometimes. Next is Gojo with his familiar. Gojo with his familiar is pretty damn good. Good damage, good time stop, but it's just that. It's a time stop. 10-second time stop. Very good. Very you feel me? Next is Baiken. Baiken's pull is the best out of any of these units, period. Maybe not the slow, but you feel me? Next, her pull literally can pull from here to here with the right burb and marksman. And it's just insane, bro. Like, you need this unit. She is a must-have. Plus, she tethers, which makes the enemies take more damage. Must-bring units for sure. Next. Oh, yeah, wait. You can only use the pull 3 times. You gotta remember that. Stark. Stark is the only unit who can slow a boss by 50%. But, as you can see by his range, this is not what he's slowing, right? He is going to slow that tiny little line that you just saw. This is what he is going to slow. Even when he's full AoE, he's going to be slowing. He's going to be slowing this line right here. So you need to place him in spots where he can slow the enemies and the boss, which is very difficult, and therefore some people do prefer using Newsman. Newsman has a big cone, and he slows a lot better than Stark. A lot more consistent than Stark, but he can't slow bosses. So depending on the map, you're going to want to trade off between the two. You could bring both. You could bring both. Next, Esdeath freezes, right? And time stops. But she comes with a bit of lag. But this is pretty damn good. Time stop, 10-second time stop plus freeze. She's really good. Next, Sakuya. The best time stop. 12-second, 65-second cooldown. Must bring units. Simple as that. Diego, what the hell? Why is he on the other side of the road? Because nobody wants him, bro. Nobody cares about Diego, bro. Like, what the hell is Diego doing, bro? Like, go home, bro. Like, I don't know why he's not evolved, bro. What the hell? Diogo, where you at, Swin? First of all, look at his range. Second of all, look at his cooldown. Yeah, we don't want that, bro. We don't want that, bro. Plus, it stops the wave timer. It's just mid, like if you really want to bring another time stop, bring him. You feel me? But if you don't, don't. You feel me? That's all there is to it. Next, damage supports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. No, sorry. All right, look. First one is the Smith. You absolutely need the Smith. He is the most must-have unit out of everything on this side of the map, not including those two. Okay? He buffs by a lot, right? I don't know why the hell he's not Evo, bro. This game's... Oh, my God, man. Oh, my God, man. All right, look. 25% for every single unit, or SPA, or range, depending on if it's a support, right? You 20% range these guys, 20% damage these guys, 10% cool down that guy, you feel me? Like, damn, bro, he is good. Plus 40% range, whoa. Whoa, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good, man. Then, what's this? 20% cooldown and 10% cooldown and 20 damage? Like, damn, bro, he's pretty good. Feel me? You need him. Haruka. 18% damage, 10% range. Pretty damn good. Ow. This guy is a cleanser. So you would not want to bring him unless he cleanses. But on units like Marshall Island, where they do debuff, or AOT, whatever, right? Buff that ally by 25% damage and 10% range. That is amazing. Plus he cleanses. Best cleanse support in the game. Must bring for units with or maps that need cleanse. Astolfo. She's not Evo. God damn, bro. She buffs by 20% damage and 10% range for everyone in the range. One unit can get double that, 40% damage and 20% range, but it has to be the person who brought Astolfo. Then she can also spear. Spearing bosses will make that boss take 15% extra damage. Must bring support. Out of all these guys, you're gonna go Smith, Alucard, Astolfo. Okay, those are the 3 must-haves. Then, if you want to bring more, you bring more. Next, Subaru. Subaru doesn't have an ability because he's not Evo, but he does 20% damage. Sorry. I was right. 20% damage and 8% range. There we go. Next, Alucard. Alucard has Wounded. They take 20% more damage. But the thing about Alucard is his is different than everybody else. Because these guys add to the damage. Let me show you an example. For example, right? Let's say with Smith, my Broly, he's doing 400,000 damage, okay? With the Smith, right, he's going to do times 1.2, okay? Now, whenever you stack Haruka or Astolfo, right, you stack Astolfo, right, it's going to be 480k plus 20%. 480 times 0.2, right? 480,000 plus 96,000. Another 20% buff, right? This is how much damage Broly is doing now with Subaru. Plus another 20% buff from Astolfo, right? And let's multiply this by times 1.2. That is higher than what he was doing with Smith because it's multiplied by times 1.2 instead of adding 20%, making his Wounded the #1 most needed thing in this game. Let's go ahead and jump. Oh yeah, this guy buffs crit, by the way. But let's go. These people. The 2... Wait, I forgot about her. She is everything. She can buff burn, and burn allies. Ice, stun them. Ice, freeze, and buffs water. Then boom, this is the only thing that really matters. She can buff blast enemies by 90% and buff all other enemies by 45 or 60%. I don't exactly remember. So yeah, Kaguya is really good. Then Sid, the GOAT. But simply put, he is the most needed unit because this guy is just stupid, bro. Like, he's just stupid. The way this nuke works, if you read it, it says deals 50% damage times the amount swaps this unit has done to all enemies on the map. Increased by 25% per swap up to 600%. Now, the first time I read that, I was like, okay, he does a 600% damage nuke if he swapped enough times. No! What he does is, let's say this guy swaps 200 times, okay? Because that's the amount of times he's going to swap. He's going to swap a lot more than that, right? So he's going to do way more damage. I don't know the number, but basically just know he kills everything, okay? That's all you really need to know. But we're going to do the calculation anyway because I'm tough as hell, you feel me? So look, his damage right now is 139.15 thousand. 139.15 times 0.5, okay? That is how much damage he's doing for the multiplier. Now, the way this works is he will multiply this damage by the amount of swaps he has done. What is that number? Like we just said, 200. That's being very low, by the way. He probably does way more than 200, okay? Now, times 200. That's literally what that means. That is literally what that means. Then, add 600%, which is times 7. What? That doesn't look that high, right? Multiply that by 1,000. That's how much damage his Duke is doing. By the way, 200 is being very low. Like, you're going to get more swaps than that. This is how much damage he's doing, bro. He is killing everything on the map with one click of the button. Except for the boss, maybe. You feel me? That's why you need DPS. But, yeah, you definitely need this guy because everything. His best trait for Infinite is most likely Ethereal, depending on the map, depending on the situation. Because sometimes you would want a highly focused damage nuke, and sometimes you want the Ethereal nuke, which lowers his SPA, allowing for more swaps, which allows that multiplier to go higher and higher and higher, plus extra damage, which is why you want Ethereal. If not Ethereal, His other best trait would be Blitz. Then, Sung Jinwoo. Why is this guy even good, bro? Like, he's mid as hell, right? No damage. His nukes do nothing. This is why. Revive dead enemies as your own shadows. That is a % of their health. Meaning, let's say the enemy walks out with 120 million HP, and you kill it with your DPS or with your Sid nuke. Who knows? This guy, he's going to take the amazing work and just put another enemy right here with 30 million HP that's just going to walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and hit the first guy, boss, not boss, 30 million damage. Who else is doing 30 million damage? Only the Sid nuke. But this guy's spawning constant enemies that will just shred any boss, shred any leak, and that's why he's a must-have unit for every single map. Him and my good boy, Sid. Are familiars even needed? Yes! Okay? You're not getting leaderboard without good familiars. Simple as that. What familiars do you need? You need one good Black Spirit for Sid. Anything from 97% to 150% will work. Don't stress about the number. 97 is the exact same as 115. But make sure you get blast damage, okay? That's all you really need. Now, secondly, burbs, right? As you can see, I have a lot of burbs. A lot of burbs, right? You're going to need them burbs. Because, look at this. 18.2, 7.2, 23, 4, feel me? Yeah. This guy is literally buffing Broly by 70% damage and 80% range. This guy is allowing Sungju to crit more. This guy is allowing my support to do more damage. And last of not least, right, you need a good range burb. I don't have many that are good, but I have one that's good. This is not the one that's good. But you need something with just high range. Doesn't matter the other stats. For Baiken, for the other supports, whoever's running support will need multiple, right? That's really it. That's really all you need. You feel me? Just get them burbs up. You feel me? Get them burbs up. Get high damage burbs because nobody's gonna want to run with you if you have burbs like this, right? If you have burbs like this, what the hell is this, right? It looks pretty good. That's the end of the video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you want to be like, yo, should I do this strat? Do you think it works? I can tell you straight up, yes or no, right? There are a few things I kept from you in this video because obviously I'm competing for leaderboard. If I just tell you exactly what I did, right, you're just going to go and take my spot, or there's going to be 20 teams trying to take my spot, and I don't want that to happen, right? But I gave you guys every single unit that is a must-have or needed. I told you the familiars. I told you where to find a team. You feel me? I'm exhausted. My voice hurts. I'm in pain. Not really. I'm just tough as hell. Now, because I'm tough as hell, right? You have to subscribe because I would really appreciate that, and you would really appreciate being subscribed to me because I'm gonna release more amazing videos like this. You feel me? I'm gonna keep releasing amazing videos, bro. Like I'm not like those other YouTubers who replace, yo, bro, one reroll if you subscribe. Yo, nah, like you know who you don't know who I'm talking about because no one says that, but you know who I'm talking about when I say the other YouTubers. You feel me? The only decent one is Nag because he just like enjoys games. Like the others are just, yo, click on me right now. Yo, let me tell you that the game works. Yo, AB, play.